Alright guys, so I haven't been posting a lot lately and I'm sorry for that, but today I bring you 15 things you should know for college. These aren't in any specific order, but I thought, this is what I've learned so far that I've been in college. And I've also done the non-college thing. I took a semester off, I lived in a van. I have a video on that van trip. I am going to be redoing it, but let's get into it. Alright, so number one, ramen will be your best friend. There are different ways to prepare it. You don't have to just use the packet and cook it that way. You can, there's a lot of different ramen recipes online and you can just look some of those up, but ramen will definitely become one of your best friends when you're hungry, late night snack, whatever. Number two, it can be lonely. And that goes with any new situation. It happened to me while I was in the van in a new town, knowing no one, just working, and it's happened to me at school. I don't really even have that many friends. I've been here 2 semesters and I really don't know a lot of people here, but I am off campus and at a community college, so I can't really speak for the university and being in a dorm, but a lot of my friends have made a lot of friends already, as well as my sister did her freshman year on campus. So I think it's completely different, but if you're going off campus, and I think even if you're on campus, there are times that you will probably feel very lonely. It's just one of those things, and it's just something that's hard. Number three, long distance is hard, but it can work. A lot of people say, oh, don't go to a college with a girlfriend, but if you truly want to make it work, you can make it work. As soon as one of the people in the relationship don't want it to work, then it's not going to work. So it's just kind of putting equal work into it from both sides. Number four, you won't always get along with your roommates. I was very fortunate in the fall semester. I had a roommate that I grew up with, so we got along really well. I never really saw my other roommates, but we never really had arguments or anything. Me and my buddy would clash at times, but it never was really like a full-blown argument. It was kind of arguments about stupid stuff, which was kind of petty. Sometimes on my part, sometimes on his, but we were never stayed mad at each other. But right now in the summer, I have 3 female roommates, and I clash with them, and it's not the best thing in the world, but you kind of just got to work through it because you can't afford an apartment by yourself, so you got to do what you got to do. Number 5, actual responsibilities will hit you in the face like a brick wall. Just kind of maybe the little things, just like washing your clothes. You got to do that on your own if you grew up with your mom always doing it. My mom would do it, but then, yeah. So I knew how to do laundry going into college. Some kids might not, but little things like that. And then big things, you're not with your family, you're not with your parents. Your car breaks down, you got to figure it out. It's your responsibility. School, it's a bigger responsibility. It's your work, it's not anyone else's. So it's just a lot more responsibilities, adult responsibilities, college responsibilities, and just stuff like that. You gotta stay on top of it. And then number 6, summer classes move fast and are harder to keep up with. Right now, in my Spanish class, we're getting ready for the final. We haven't finished the last lesson. We still have to finish that before the final. We have to do that in a week, when normally for a lesson, for like a chapter, we would take 2 or 3 weeks. Now we're taking a week for one lesson, and we have to know it for the final. So a lot of stuff in the summer, you just get homework, you got to do it, you got to stay on top of it. You got different due dates to work with. I had 4 due dates in the past week, just to stay on top of it. It's just something you gotta work with. So number 7, you will get homesick. I got homesick the first semester. I wasn't going home as much, but now that my girlfriend's back home, I go back almost every other week, if not every week, which right now I don't have a car and I don't have a job, so that's kind of harder to do now. When I get homesick, personally, I call someone in my family that's back home. My sister will be here in the fall, so that kind of helps with being homesick, because she's a part of home. But I don't know, sometimes just a call helps it. Sometimes I gotta go back home, which is fine. Number 8, the schooling can be easy. Sometimes the professors just don't care, but at times it will get hard, whether it's a fall, spring, or summer session. It might go from, okay, I can do this, to, well, crap, the final's tomorrow. What am I doing? What have I been doing this whole semester? And luckily in my case, that's not how it is for summer. But yeah, a lot of times the professor, I have had the professor call off class just because they weren't feeling it. That was in the fall semester. But a lot of times if you get a professor, depending on the professor, a lot of them, the older generation, they're a lot harder. They're kind of keep on top of it, and then kind of the younger generation of the professors are a little bit more laid back. Which reminds me, this isn't on my list, but you can always talk to a professor. Like, if you didn't do the homework just because you couldn't, or you were sick, or you couldn't do an assignment, you should always ask. You should always talk to them, and a lot of times they are willing to work with you. There's a lot going on in college, especially with the full schedule. So just ask questions, be able to ask them if you can do something late, if you can do something now, whatever. But yeah, number 9, depression is a real thing. I personally have struggled with it, but it's just in college, because you're responsible for yourself. There's no one else watching over you. You gotta keep it up with it yourself. So mental health is a big deal. It's just something you gotta watch out for. If you notice something slacking, maybe talk with someone. Personally, because I'm very open to talk about it. Personally, I am doing therapy. Well, not therapy, it's a counselor, but still, it's just one of those things you gotta keep on top of, because it can sneak up on you and it can blindside you like nothing else. That's just one of the things. I think there's statistics out there for college students that are depressed, but I don't know them. I didn't look them up. But number 10, it will be a lot of fun. Yes, there are parties. Yes, there is alcohol. But there also has to be an equal balance between fun and play. If you're doing more fun, if you're going out to clubs, if you're doing this and drinking and drugs, whatever, you will notice it in your grades. In the fall, I got mainly C's. Of course, I was freshman. I had to get everything out of me, but I was doing a lot more partying, just kind of going out to the local clubs that are 18 plus, and it's just, you gotta equal balance it, because everyone's going to be like, hey, let's go out this weekend, and that's going to be every weekend or 3 times a weekend, and it's just, it takes a toll on your wallet, but also you just got to keep that equal balance, because you're there for school. So number 11, have a small toolkit in your dorm or apartment. You will always find a reason to use it. Maybe you don't have to use it, but if you need to, whether it's fixing your bed frame or putting decorations up, or even if your car breaks down and you gotta fix something, or just whatever, a toolkit will save your life in many situations. Number 12, learn to be organized. If you look at my room right now, it's not necessarily all my fault. A buddy of mine's keeping his stuff here. He's in between housing. But if you look at my room, it shouldn't be an excuse, and it's not. But my room's not the most organized or the cleanest right now. But it definitely helps with morale. It definitely helps with if you're down or whatever. It helps to be organized. And number 13, get out of the house. This is something I struggle with. I play a lot of video games. I'm in my apartment a lot, but yesterday I woke up at, let's say, 10 o'clock, and then by 1 o'clock I was at the school, I was studying, and then after class I rode the bus home and I walked to the grocery store. I went and got food, and just doing that just helped my morale. It just, like, I don't know, I felt good about myself. I felt good about, like, I guess what I was doing, and it felt productive. And just feeling productive helps with a lot of struggles, even depression, even just stress. And stress is a big thing. It goes in with the health. Just start to learn how to organize your health or your stress. Number 14, if you don't have a car, get a bike and use the bus to your advantage. Where I'm located, there are a lot of free transportation options. At the major university, there's free shuttles and just ways to get around. Unfortunately for me, I am not at the main university. I'm at a community college, so there are local buses that are $1.50 a ride to class. That gets me to class, and then $1.50 back, so that's $3. Or I can bike there, which is a 30-minute bike ride, 4 miles there and back, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I've done it. I had to do it low on money or whatever, but just things like Uber aren't practical, and sometimes you have to be practical. Either it's money wise, taking the bus, or riding a bike. You got to do what you got to do. And number 15, most times you actually have to study. Other times you can stay up till 4 and write that paper last minute. Yeah, it's really not fun to procrastinate, but I mean, sometimes you gotta study. Like, I got 2 finals I have to study for. Like, there's no way I'm passing the finals without studying. Sometimes you can get away with it. There is a fine line. You gotta kind of manage it. You gotta learn the system. But there are ways that you can make it work, but sometimes there's no way to make it work. You gotta study. You gotta do that 15-page paper 2 or 3 days before. There's just some things that there aren't leeways with, and you gotta learn that equal balance. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hopefully will start posting again. I really want to start posting more, and I also want to do live streaming. I did a little bit on YouTube, but I want to start doing it on Twitch. I want to do IRL live streams as well as gaming live streams. That's just something I'm looking forward to. I don't know if it'll happen. I don't know when it'll happen, but yeah. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, rate, subscribe. But seriously, if you can subscribe, that will help out a lot. And there is the bell. Everyone knows about the bell. Hit the bell and you'll get notifications. But thank you guys for watching. Bye.